Hey guys, so I wanted to come on here and give you my thoughts, opinions, and do some swatches on the new I Heart Revolution Violet palette. Oh, it's just gorgeous. I have used this palette to create this look, which will be up on my channel tomorrow. So if you want to see how I created this look, just come back tomorrow. But in the meantime, I'm going to tell you what I think and we're going to do some swatches. So this is how the palette came in this lovely purple packaging, and on the back it has pictures of the colours of the palette on the inside, so you could have a look at it and see what the colours are supposed to look like if you are buying it in store. Also, it's cruelty free and it's vegan, and for those of you who want to know if it includes talc, it does, but it's not the first ingredient on the list. You know, like they list the ingredients from the most to the least. So the most prominent ingredient is mica, and talc is the fourth most prominent ingredient. The palette includes 11 mattes and 7 shimmers. The mattes are 1.2 grams and the shimmers are 1 gram. You know, all of that stuff doesn't bother me, but I know that for some of you that might be important, so that's why I'm mentioning it. Also, the palette itself is $8.99, so it's quite affordable, but it's in line with prices of the rest of the chocolate bar palettes. So when you take it out of the box, here is what it looks like. It's brown plastic packaging, it's hard packaging, and it has the purple chocolate bar squares which go on to melt down. The rest of the packaging is gorgeous. Then on the inside it does have a plastic sheet which I have taken out. It also has a huge mirror at the top, and then we've got all of the shades here. Now what I will say when I first opened it is there's a lot of brown. There is a lot of brown, okay? And I think when I saw the pictures online, I mistook this shade and this shade for like browny purples, but now to me they're just looking like browns. They look like they were kind of hidden in the purples to look like they were purples, but they're not quite purple. But anyway, yeah, the first thing that I see aside from the purples, I do recognize that there's quite a bit of brown in this palette. And for those of you who like to have a gradient between your natural brown shade to a purple shade, maybe this is perfect for you, but I just felt like there was quite a bit of brown. The purple shades, there is quite a bit of purple. I mean, you've got your bright purples here, you've got like a reddish purple there, you've got your dark purple shimmer, you've got your brighter purple shimmer, and you've got a purple, almost silvery kind of purple shimmer. So you do have a variety of purples, but I just feel like this palette is more brown than it is purple. Just in my personal opinion, I feel like if there was a couple more purples in there, like if this one and this one, which look borderline purple, were actually purple shades, I'd be a little bit happier. But it's not quite. But I think I understand why they would have had those two shades, like borderline brown, borderline purple, because maybe when you're transitioning from your brown to your purple, you've got something which is in between the purple and the brown, so that that ombre effect is a little bit more seamless. Maybe that's the only thing I can really think of. Could that have been the reason? I don't know, maybe, who knows. So I'm gonna do a few swatches, and I'm gonna do a few of the browns. So this first one here is one of those which was kind of disguised within the purples. And to me on my hand it just looks brown. I don't know what you're seeing in the camera, but to me it just kind of looks brown, yeah. And now for the purples themselves, I'm gonna swatch every single purple. Okay, to me, this one and this one looks straight up red, this one looks straight up pink, if I'm 100% honest with you. And then this one right at the end was one of those ones which was kind of disguised as a purple, but looks brown. And again, to me, it still just looks brown. So in reality, in my eyes, you only really get 5 purple shades. But at the same time, I kind of understand that the whole thing can't just be purple. Like, I understand that, like, you need a little bit of variation just to break it up a little bit. But it's the swatches themselves, they don't all carry the purple tone, if that makes sense. So I have to be honest that some of these swatches, they do look a little bit patchy, especially this one at the bottom. Aside from, oh yeah, and this one didn't swatch as well as it could have. But this one is the main shade that I have on my eyelids. And I was amazed with the way that it literally just... Like the pigmentation, when you'll see it tomorrow, as soon as I went in on my eyelid with that brush, there was purple. It wasn't patchy, it didn't show up a little bit. It was like, hey, I'm here for the party, like show me where the dance floor is. It was that kind of situation. What I will say is that when I was blending out some of the shadows, I was finding that if I wasn't being careful, it was going to turn muddy really, really quickly. So you kind of have to make sure you have control over your brush. Make sure that you're putting it exactly where you want it to be, because this can get out of control real fast. It's one of those kind of palettes, you've got to be careful. Now, considering the fact that I've heard that purples, reds, those are the kind of shades which are really difficult to make and make them well, considering that I've managed to get this look out of this palette, which is $8.99, I am so pleased with it. And I actually feel like this is one of their best palettes in regards to pigmentation. I actually feel like the pigment, it's there, it exists. With some of their palettes, it's kind of hit and miss. Like, some of the shadows are good, some of the shadows are bad. And as I said, there are a couple of shadows like this last one here, which isn't showing up as well as it could. But for the purples, which is predominantly what I'm here for, like, I've got browns in abundance. If some of the browns don't work for me, whatever, that's fine. I've got loads of browns to choose from. I'm here for the purple. And considering that, these are the swatches, and this is what I got, I am so pleased. If you are a purple fan, get this palette. It's not going to let you down. I'm telling you, seriously, it's not going to let you down. I used to absolutely adore purple when I was younger. I used to have a purple bag, my room was purple, I had a purple coat. Anything that I could have purple, I would draw to it. And then later on in life, it turned into black being my favorite color. But I really wanted this to work, just on the fact that I used to be such a huge lover of purple, and this, it really has not let me down. I wish there was a few more variations of purple in this palette. That hasn't happened, but I'm not gonna like completely write off the palette, especially considering that the purples that are in there do the damn thing. I'm telling you, I'm so glad I got this palette. As I said, I feel like this is one of their best palettes. Oh, and it does smell like chocolate. It's not as pungent as some of their other palettes. Like, there's some of their palettes where you open it and it's just like, whew. This one isn't as in your face. And what I do like about this palette and the one before, I think it was the nudes palette, they've taken away the double-ended sponge tip applicators. I know that they work. I've seen people use them for their eyeshadow and it does work, but we don't use sponge tip applicators generally. Like, people have moved on from that. They now use brushes. So I appreciate that they've taken out the double-ended sponge tip applicator and instead they've made space for printing the names onto the palette itself rather than on the plastic protector sheet. So that's something that I really do appreciate as well. And also they've gotten rid of they used to have one long shadow here and one long shadow there. They've gotten rid of that, so now you have even more shadows to choose from. So these are the changes that I really do appreciate that they've made with these palettes, and I hope that they continue to do that going forward. Overall, do I like this palette and do I recommend it? I absolutely feel like this is an amazing palette for for anyone who is a purple lover, for anyone who wanted to get like the Kylie purple palette but didn't manage to get it or doesn't want to spend that coin. Like, this one is definitely something that you can use as a dupe maybe. I'm not too sure if this was supposed to be a dupe of the Kylie purple palette, but I feel like this is something that could be a potential dupe, you know? I absolutely love the way my eyeshadow has turned out using this palette. Again, my tutorial is going to be up tomorrow. As soon as this is available to you in the US, get it, get it. Seriously, I absolutely love this palette. The best one so far. It used to be the Naked Chocolate, but now I think this one is my favorite out of the whole entire range. It's my favorite now. Anyway, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.